What will we find today on the River Sarawi? We're back on the River Sarawi to take a look to see if there's anything new for us today. The one thing we are sure to find is some autumn leaves as the trees are turning colour. But we've got our one fine day, so we're cashing in. It's now or never, so let's get searching down on the riverbank. So here we are, and now we just have to descend. Which could be interesting, because the one thing you have to be careful of on this time of year is it can be rather slippery underfoot. So steady as we go, folks, and let's get down to the riverside. Whoop, here we go. Hang on, we're picking up speed. There we are. Oh well, that wasn't too bad. A fairly smooth run down, and here we are on the riverside, and hopefully there'll be some bits and pieces to pick up as we have a look around.
Look at that, isn't it beautiful? The leaves are not quite as vibrant as they were. There are a lot of browny colours and yellowy colours, not many reds that side. Now, I'm not a big fan of knotweed, but it does look pretty when it's starting to lose its colour. As you can see, it's everywhere, and I'd say that knotweed is about 8 foot high. At least. A lot bigger than me. Anyway, enough of the knotweed. Let's have a look for treasure. Look at all these leaves. They're really not helping. You can see some china there. Oh, I think it's blue and white. Oh, yes, it is. Let's pick it up. Oh, it's quite a big chunk of a plate, a dinner plate, I'd say. Oh, look what I can see. Can you see it? There it is. It's ridged pottery. What is a mudlark without ridged pottery? Oh, do you think that's a bit of pipe stem? Oh, I think it is. Oh, look at that. We haven't been down here more than 2 minutes and I found a piece of pipe stem. Oh, that's exciting. You know me and my pipe stems, I just love them. And there's a little piece of china there, and that's just white, so I'm going to leave it there. What have you found, Mr. Johnson?
It's actually your piece of ridge pottery.
Yes.
But I gave it a wash in the river, and look at that lovely clear mark in the centre.
Very nice.
I think it's probably Fletcher's, do you think? The name on the top?
No, I don't think so. The double T, Fletcher's only got one.
Oh, right.
We'll have to check that out. It's pure something.
It is, but I love that insignia in the middle. That is very bold and clear, isn't it?
It is, very nice. I can see a circle over there. I don't know if it's anything worth looking at, but we need to get in the river. So, come on, pop your wellies on. We're going in. Oh, that's very refreshing. Well, that's much bigger than it looks. It's completely stuck in the bottom of the river, so that's got to stay there. Oh well, we'll look for something else instead. Aha. What's this? Cat with a double T. I don't know what that is. There's not much left of it. And there are a few little bits of bottles here. It's a bit like a very small bottle graveyard. What's this over here? It's a neck of something. And I'd say that's probably green, but it's very muddy. And over here is this hole. There's something under there. have a look. Oh, look. It's the bottom of a glass. Oh, I thought it was going to be something really exciting. Oh, I can see a little bit of china there. Sorry to move you so quickly. What's on the bottom of that? Oh, it's more ridged pottery. Now is that another piece of pipe stem, or is it the handle of a cup, or is it nothing? Oh, let's have a look. Oh wow, look at that. It's the mouthpiece of a piece of pipe. Oh, that's so exciting. That's the second one I found in virtually no time. Let's give it a swill. Oh, it's going to be cold. Oh, I'm so excited to have found 2 bits of pipe stem already. This boards really well. Mind you, sometimes I say that and think, oh look, I found all these pipe stems, and then suddenly nothing. So let's see if that's number 2 of 20. Oh, there's another bit of ridged pottery there with the wide ridges on. And I can see a bit of bottle down there. Oh, we'll get in the very cold water to have a look. But I can see already it's broken. Is it something really exciting? No. Oh well. What are you doing in there, Mr. Johnson? I can see you.
Some bits and pieces here.
All right. Let's have a look. Let's see if we can get through to Phil. Oh. Oh.
Right.
Ow. These twigs everywhere, they keep poking me in the eye. Ooh, nice bits and pieces there.
That may give you a clue as to what was on your tea.
Oh yes, castle.
But sadly it's another broken piece.
Yeah, pure drink. Castle pure drink.
And then we've got
Yes.
nice.
Yeah, I say that. I don't know. I'm sure on any age of that. I don't think it's terribly old.
That.
I think that one's older. Very nice. I love the sage green on that.
We got that.
This, which is like a teal colour. It's always very frustrating in the autumn because all the leaves on the floor there take the focus of my camera, and then what I'm showing you is never in focus.
And we got that.
Oh, and another bit of blue and white. Put that there.
Somewhere there.
And that piece there. Oh, more blue and white. I'm going to try putting it at the same level as the leaves, and maybe it'll be a bit clearer. More blue and white.
And more.
Yeah. And what's this? Oh, look at that. Now, I imagine it's a rather large sugar basin. Very nice.
That's what drew me in from the riverside through all of the undergrowth.
Isn't it lovely?
But
Put it down there. Wow! It's part of a pipe ball. Oh, well done. Look at that. Oh,
so
very clever.
Yeah, 2-1 on the pipe bits. You've got 2, I've got 1, but found that heading up to get this and all the other china that was around it. So there we go. It's worth wandering off on occasions. On a previous occasion when we were on the Sarawi River at a different spot to this, I made mention of the Chartist movement. Now the Chartist movement, that was really in force between the 1830s and the 1850s. And it was a movement that spread across Britain and of like-minded people who wanted to see reform. They gathered together initially to present a petition that would demand certain changes in the way that British political life was organised. And together they forged their petition for 6 changes in the law. Firstly, they wanted the right to vote, the franchise to vote, to be extended to all men over the age of 21. Now there were those in the Chartist movement that argued that it should be extended to women as well, but at that point in time there weren't enough enlightened people to bring that forward, and some felt it was asking for too much to be achieved in their initial move. The other thing they wanted was a salary for MPs, so that working men could take up the role, because at that time MPs were self-financed. But also MPs had to own property, and they wanted that link between holding office as a representative of the people taken away from ownership of property, again so that working people could feel that they were represented by those of their own class and background. Another demand they made was for a secret ballot during the general election, because at that time the ballot was held in a book and you put your name and who you voted for, so those who gained power knew those who gave them power, and therefore it was in the vested interest of those that you thought would win to support them, so that you got their assistance when they took office. Another thing they wanted was that the electoral districts, the constituencies as we call them, should be of an equal size, because otherwise a vote in one area could be far more powerful and useful than a vote in another, and they wanted all votes to have equal weight. And finally, their sixth demand was that there should be annual general elections, because again at the time the general election was only held every 7 years, which was a long time, and it meant that the elected representative could lose touch with his electorate for a good 5 or 6 years before turning up to try and gain their vote the next time around. But they weren't just about political reform. Political reform was important to many of them because of the other changes they wanted in society. They wanted a better world for their children. They wanted a better deal for working people. And they saw political reform as the way to achieve that betterment in society, that lifting of those in poverty to a position where they lived a life that they deserved for the labour that they expended on behalf of those who owned industry. Many of the Chartists got involved in areas such as Chartist newspapers, Chartist churches, Chartist schools. It was a real work and a real organisation for social betterment. But while their primary route for change was the petition, there was also those who felt that they needed to be doing something that would draw attention to the plight of working people across the British Isles. And the river that we're on today, in a way, for me, offers a representation, a metaphor for what happened in 1839. Because this river, the Sarawi, begins up in Tredegar, just beyond Tredegar in the mountains. Starts off as a little trickle. Then it works its way down, getting wider, deeper and larger as it goes. And when it reaches Crosskeys down below us, it then flows into the Ebu and runs as a mighty river all the way into Newport. And that was very much how it was back then, in November 1839, when the Chartists began the rising and marched towards Newport. By the time they gathered there in Newport, they were an army 4,000 strong, and they were under the leadership of a noble man by the name of John Frost. And they were not in a mood for compromise and made their demands known on the streets of Newport. But as they gathered on November the 4th outside the Westgate Hotel, the order was given and the troops opened fire on the march. 22 lay dead at the end of that bloody confrontation, and many more were injured. and it would appear at that moment it was the end of the Chartist movement. It was certainly, in their 20-year history, the biggest uprising of the movement. But strangely enough, it was the trial of John Frost and the other leaders that won back support to their cause, because their trial and then sentencing to being deported to Australia, and the way in which they conducted themselves and the arguments that they were able to place before the court brought a great deal of sympathy back to their cause, although they would never know the real strength that they had known that day when the troops opened fire. Some may say that the uprising in 1839 was a miscall. It was a defeat, that it brought about the end of their hopes as a movement. But then others may see it as an inspiration for the generations that came after, because the story of the rising at Newport is still told. It is still taught in our history lessons, and I'm sure that the sacrifices made that day and the decision to take a stand will have certainly inspired many down the generations to continue with that course that they set. And while none of their 6 demands were met during the 20 years that the Chartist movement was effective, all bar one has been met today. The only one not met, the annual elections. And perhaps that's not something we would particularly feel would be appropriate in our time. But of course, the franchise for voting went even further, as in 2 stages in 1918 and 1928. The women of this nation rightly were given the vote too. So while they may not have seen it in their time, they certainly have been and continue to be an inspirational force on the political landscape of our nation.
Like the bottom of a bottle. Whoa, that river's very noisy, this part. Oh, look! It was probably a cod bottle. Newport, I'd say. Any person using this bottle or doing something to this bottle will be prosecuted. I hope it's not smashing it. They'll think I did it. They'll be prosecuted. Look at this, just sat on the side, on which the bottom of the jug, it had a relief pattern on it. If only it was a bit longer, we could have tried to cut that down. It would have been quite nice, but I think it is a little bit too short, isn't it? Oh well. Oh, you see something in the roots of the trees over there. I turn the camera off while I'm trying to get you because it's really slippery underfoot. This will be a very bumpy ride. Let's have a look at this. The bottom of a bottle and there's writing on it. DF Pritchard, I'd say. Begins with a P and ends with an RD. Common name around here, or popular I should say. Limited, and it says Crumlin, which isn't a million miles away. Oh, that's really nice. Just a shame there's not the whole thing. But it's always nice to see these things, even if we can't actually take them home, because there's not enough of them. Oh, I can see a bottle hanging right up there. I don't know if you can see. I'm going to try grabbing it with my grabby thingy. Oh no! I'm going to put you up. You can see it's just a bottleneck. What a shame. I thought it was one of those little small green apothecary type bottles. Oh well, we'll keep looking. Ooh, what's that? It's sparkly. Oh, it's one of those. It looks like a connector off some sort of very thick electrical lead, or an aerial lead perhaps. Oh, it's a shiny find. And that's all welded together in a big lump, so I have no idea what's in that altogether. Looks like the top of a bottle, and the bottom of something. They're all rusted together, so we leave it all there. And let's have a look up on the beach. There are lots of little beaches along most rivers, rather than find one long one. It's not like the seaside. Yeah. Every time there's a little bit of a bend, you get a little bit of a beach. Oh, what have you found, Mr. Johnson?
I found a very vibrant piece of blue and white.
That is, isn't it? Very blue.
We have found a variety of blue and white today, but that is extremely vibrant.
It is.
And then, at first I thought this was a piece of stone.
Yeah.
But as I washed it, it's very smooth, very smooth. That has been in the water a long time.
I'd say that's the bottom of a cod bottle. It's very thick and very heavy.
It is. And just look how smooth that is.
Isn't it lovely?
No, lovely. Totally smoothed off by the river. I love that. So there we go. They're my two finds for the moment.
Hello, Mr. Johnson. Have you found anything?
Well, technically no.
Right.
But what I have done is I have gone back and picked up the odd item that Caroline decided wasn't worth taking.
Right.
And in order to justify my actions, I'd like to invite everyone over to the shed now and see if we can do something, even with the bits that sometimes we think are beyond our reach for repair. So come on, let's pop over to the shed while we leave Caroline have a little search on this beach. Great to see you back at the shed. And as I said down at the river, I'm going to have a go at just doing something with a few bits that Caroline made the decision to probably leave behind. So she left them there and I picked them up. And here they are. Now that I've cleaned them up, there's that lovely piece of glass with Crumlin on it. The location where we found one of our best ever pipes. And this piece of the base of a bottom of a vase or some kind of jug. But obviously the vast majority long gone. I'd like to put these two together and use them to make something that I think will look quite nice. So let's see if it's possible to use these little bits to make something decorative and useful. Off we go. Well, that's the dusty bit done, and it's imperative that I add my goggles over my glasses, my gloves and my mask, because although I've got the door wide open here and it's quite well ventilated, obviously as I ground this I'm taking off fine bits of glass and don't want those in my lungs. China, not so bad perhaps, but still not a good idea. But what I've tried to go for is the sense of snow on the peaks of a mountain there, and instead of cutting this bottle, because as Caroline said we're coming ever so low there to try and cut and keep any of the words, I've gone for that snow peak effect and kept crumbling there on the front and the word limited across the center. I now want to mount that into this piece, and I've mirrored that sort of effect by just grinding off the edges, nothing fancy, because again very low to be cut in. And now I'm going to use some of my bits of sea glass and china that I've picked up along the way on various trips to put this together and see what we come up with. Okay, let's get on with the job. Well, there you have it. A small piece of glass bottle inside that base jar, using up some river and sea glass and just creating something that displays the lovely label on the front. This is totally safe to touch, it's totally smooth. All the sharp edges have been ground completely off, as they have on the china, so now easily handled. All that's left to do is to add a little light and let you see it. So I'm going to do that now, put a little bit of light in, and I'm sure Caroline will add a little bit of music, and then we'll get back down on the Sarawi River and see what else we can find there today. Okay, let's see what it looks like with some lights in.
Look what's been left there. It's a green bottle, it's got a plastic top. But it's very nice. Let's have a look at the colour green. Isn't that lovely? It's like a cheerful green. It's not the usual bottle green. I like that. No idea what was in it, there's nothing on the cap. But it's a nice bottle. Hello, Mr. Johnson, what have you got?
I have a stunning find.
A stunning find.
I do indeed.
Oh, let's see your stunning find.
I found my find and I was stunned.
Stunned?
Stunned I was, as I imagined its glory and beauty before it found its way into the dump.
Right. Let's have a look at your stunned face.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
I need to see your stunned face first. Well, that's a very good stunned face.
That's what I looked like when I found it.
Oh, look at that.
Wouldn't that have been a beauty?
That's amazing, isn't it?
Wouldn't it? That was back up on that banking.
Yep.
in the side of a bottle digger's hole.
I'd say that's probably up an pen.
Yeah.
Or possibly though, because it's not pointy as usual, it goes round the corner. It could be though.
Beautiful
it's
piece of glass.
Very nice.
Though.
Oh, that is nice. I think we'll give that a find of the day.
That stirred memories of staring into those glorious windows in Venice, seeing the Murano glass and the beautiful flower arrangements that they made. That stirred memories of that. That was a grand piece in its time, and I think a very pretty find on the River Sarawi today.
It makes my bottle look really boring.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
It does. I can see a few things in there now. I can't get in because of the brambles. I can reach forward and see what we've got. Plain. Plain. Oh, pink. And under the roof there is something. I don't know if I can get it. Oh look, there's a bit of blue on there. Bet that would have been stunning. Anything else? Ah, what's this? No, just a piece of pudding bowl. Right, nothing enormous there. I can see the odd mushroom. They're well out of the way, otherwise I'd show you them because they're quite cute. Let's wander on and see what else we can see. Oh, I can see something in the water. Oh, it looks like a button. Yep. I don't know if it was originally black and the paint is washed off. I think so. No, it was painted black. It was originally white and then painted black, but now it's going back to white again. Oh, that's nice. I'm not sure how old it is because the thread is still pretty good in there, which means it's not 100% cotton. Otherwise it would have rotted by now, so I'm assuming it's a more modern, you know, 50s, 60s, that sort of age. We've got a couple of little bits of china here, not a lot. There's a little bit of willow pattern there, and that looks like it's off the same thing. Another bit of willow pattern. Oh, there's some more there. This is plain white, and this is plain white too. And look at that. Oh, I love a good weir. The mini waterfall, some of you might call it, I'm not sure. We always call them weirs, but I don't know whether a weir is actually man-made or not. Let me know in the comments below. Can you have a natural weir, or do they have to be made by people? There are lots of bits of brick. So there's a little acorn without his little hat on. Oh, look! Go pick him up. He's already started sprouting there. He's putting his little root out.
A lovely smooth piece of brick.
Oh, very round, isn't it? Very nice. Ooh! Ooh, 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 ooh. Do you see something from there? I can see it. Ooh, let's have a little look. Down we go. Oh, look, it's a pipe stem. It's the base where it joins the bowl. Oh, how lovely. It's only 3 hours, hoping for 20, but I'm happy with 3 and we still may find more. Oh, I just love that. You know me, if I find pipe stems, I'm happy. If I find pipe bowls, I'm ecstatic. What are you washing, Mr. Johnson?
I'm washing a brick.
I thought you might be.
Look at that.
Oh, wow. Yes, it's a very heavy brick.
Oh, it's quite light.
Has it got anything written on it?
No.
Has it got any identifying marks whatsoever?
No.
So what are you going to do with it?
I just think it's nice. It's got that lovely smooth texture, and it's relatively light because of the size on the holes.
Oh, well.
So I'm sure I can come up with something to do with that.
Oh, yes, a Halloween mask. Perfect.
It's going in the bag. It's got to be said, this is not always the best place for us when it comes to bits of pipe. We have found a stunning pipe bowl here before. Just as we descended the bank in, it was there on the floor. But today, I think we've done really well on the bits and pieces of pipes. If you'd like to see more adventures where we've been hunting on the river, then just check the link up there. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. But of course, most importantly, till the next time we're all out together, have fun. Bye. Bye.